now. Oh, we're live.
Hey, welcome to Hack Shack Studios. I am Thibert, and I will be talking at you, with you, and about you for the next hour or so. I have 35 years as an artist, as a comic book artist for Marvel, DC, you name it. I've probably worked on it. Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. And with me, as always, is Taylor Grosso. Say hi, Taylor.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. That was a good intro, Art.
Hello.
I'll be reading your chats today. If you'd like to comment and join the conversation, I will read those aloud.
You read them silently while you read them aloud. Remember that in school?
No. Oh, yes, I do.
They would say, you read them silently and I will read them out loud.
They always pick the weakest readers to read aloud.
Because, public humiliation. Nothing helps you like public humiliation, which I'm doing to myself right now.
That is not true.
What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about stuff?
Well, there's some news in the comic book world that you brought up this morning.
Okay.
Like St. Mark's Comics going under.
Yes. Are we getting people yet? Should we stall for time?
We got some people. I'm getting into the live chat right now. We got a Draw Kid says, I'm not here. YouTube is lying.
YouTube does that, and that's not right, man.
I don't know who to believe.
I never know who to believe.
P Money is here.
Hey, P Money.
And I guess I should say before we get started that our channel is finally monetized. Yay. And you may see the super chat there. And if you want to help us out by sending that, do you notice the studio upgrades, everyone?
Oh, yeah. The potato cam is gone.
This is only the second video without it.
Yeah, so now we have the Logitech and we have the Blue Yeti mic.
I know the Blue Yeti picks up absolutely everything, but I think it's a major step up from what we had before.
Yes.
Personally, Title says, I avoid public humiliation by avoiding the public.
I wish I could. I think it's weird because people go, oh, he's just a curmudgeon old man. He's just grumpy. I've always been like this. It's weird when you're a young man and like, oh man, he's an angry young man, and like that's kind of cool. But then when you get older, you're just like, oh, he's just a grumpy old guy.
Yeah, when does that happen? Like, when does it cross the line to just being like a grumpy old man?
Now you're not cool anymore. Now I'm just a grumpy old man.
As opposed to like a hot-headed young rebel.
He's just an idyllic, youthful, angry. What they even have, like, isn't there like there was always rock songs called Angry Youth? It's Angry Youth.
They're just dissatisfied with the status quo.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
So I guess the big news of today that we talked about a little bit this morning was that the famous St. Mark's Comics in New York is closing after 36 years.
The Village.
Have you ever been there, Art?
Many times. I love that store. Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. And maybe we should just plant the seed now and see what your favorite shops are, your favorite comic shops. Maybe in the chat talk about how they're doing. Hopefully they're doing well.
Yeah, if you guys have a favorite shop, for sure, drop the name and we'll talk about how they're all doing.
Yeah, we'll plug your favorite comic shop and tell what state you're. Well, I don't want to dox anybody, but yeah.
Maybe just a brief location, a state or something.
Yeah.
So this is from Comics Beat, and it says, rumors started flying this afternoon, and it was confirmed in a tweet. New York City is losing one of its iconic comic shops as St. Mark's Comics is shutting down at the end of February. St. Mark's Comics said on Twitter, yes, after 36 years of serving the East Village, world-famous St. Mark's Comics will be closing at the end of February. Thanks for all of your kind words and concerns. As word has gotten out, we will be starting our store emptying sale tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Stay tuned for more. Well, you guys can get in on that gigantic sale if you're in New York.
Yeah.
Let's see. The store is located on St. Mark's Place, a street famed in the 70s and 80s for being a hotbed of punk energy, fashion and music, and a shopping destination for everything avant-garde for decades. As time went by, the street lost its edge. All the clubs got turned into condos, and 9th Street's Little Tokyo crept over a block. It was great for yakitori and karaoke, but indie retail dropped to higher. Okay, you're getting a little saucy, Comics Beat. Just give me the facts. So yeah, let's see. We got a quote from, I guess, the owner. Let's see. We've been asked why. This is the quote from the owner. There are a lot of obstacles to running a retail storefront in NYC. Too many of them at once to fight. And after 36 pretty intense years, not enough left to fight them. We are forever grateful to our customers who made it possible to pursue our passion for so long. To our families and friends, without whose patience and indulgence, we could never do all the things required to run a retail business for 36 years. Most especially to all the talented and dedicated staff, mostly now extended family, who contribute their time, expertise, and ideas and love to making this the very best shop it could be. We'll see you all soon to say goodbye and share a good memory. Let's make this month a wake, not a funeral. Aww.
Oh, geez, man. So, Mile High, right? Recent history. And now St. Mark's. What next?
I'm surprised that Mile High went under because it used to be a major staple of like the con scene out here in California.
Yeah.
We just got a super chat from P Money. Thank you, P Money, for $2.79. P Money says, "Hey, first Canadian to super chat. I believe that you are."
Yeah, eh?
Title blames Amazon. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. You mean with book sales through the internet and stuff like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I still buy my stuff through shops. Do you buy any comics online?
You know, online. No, just I buy all the Comicsgate books, the CG books. I don't know if that counts as online, but no, I don't think. No, did you got the Magic order? You went to a comic shop to get those, right?
The only thing, yeah, the Magic order I got through a shop. I got it from a shop called Quest.
Yeah, I guess a shop called Quest would be our local comic shop, right?
Yeah, that and I guess Comic Madness. But
is Comic Madness where I put the ad up?
It is. That is where you put the ad up where I got hired. And it's like a very old school kind of comic shop.
So those are, we'll give our plug. So those are here. One's in Corona and is the other one in...
Claremont?
Is it Claremont? Oh, yeah, yeah.
There's actually multiple locations for a shop called Quest, which leads me to believe that it's doing pretty well. Because there's 3. There's one in Redlands, and there's one in LA, and then the one in Claremont.
That's the one we did Free Comic Book Day, right?
It was. Claremont? Yeah. Jaime Ramirez Art says, "Hi, guys. My local comic book store just orders to sell out and make most of their money through Magic the Gathering and other card game tournaments."
Oh, sad.
A lot of comic shops are also like card game shops primarily, and I think they make a lot of money through that.
Yeah, I know they have to diversify, but it's sad that they can't make it all on comic books.
Ray Thulu says, "My local comic shop used to have like 90 sorry, I wanted to click this window. Used to have like 90% of its floor space devoted to comics, with the remainder being RPGs. Now maybe it's 5% comics and 95% gaming." Yeah, there's actually there's a comic shop. Well, they market it as a comic shop, but I never think of it as being that. In Brea, that it's called The Realm, and it's basically card games and RPG stuff, and then a little bit of comics, which I think is kind of the more typical stuff now.
Yeah, well, when we first moved, we're in Corona, California, and we're on the outskirts of Yorba Linda, Anaheim Hills. So we're kind of up in the mountains here a little bit. And you know that shop on Green River, Taylor? They used to have the shopping center.
Oh, yeah, the main one.
Green River over here. They used to have a comic shop in there.
There used to be one in my neighborhood, too, like not far from my house.
Yeah, and then there was one in, like, we're kind of isolated a little bit here, but we call it in the city. It's just, you got to kind of drive down the hill from where we're at to get to it. And there was a pretty good sized comic shop there that I used to get books from as well. And it was a nice shop. And then when the 90s boom went away, they downsized and moved it closer to where I'm at. a smaller location, and then they kind of diversified with trading cards, like collector cards and comics. And then eventually they went out of business as well. So I believe we don't have a comic shop even here in Corona.
Not a close one, I don't think.
I don't think there's one here at all.
Yes, there is. Norco.
That's
yeah,
Norco.
That's not Corona.
Well, it's the closest one.
Amanda, everybody.
I know, yeah. I got corrected. Not really, but
It's not corrected. It's just there's one in Norco. That's the closest one.
okay.
So I guess there's one in Norco.
Hey, Amanda, do you know the name? Because we can promote it if you know the name.
It's a sports and card shop, actually. But it's like they sell cards and comic books. I think that's the title of it.
It's just sports cards and comics or something like that?
No, sports and cards, I think.
Okay. Sports and cards. Oh, that's over by where you used to take music lessons, right?
Mm-hmm. It's the only one still open in the area.
Okay. And thing's tiny.
That's still pretty far, too.
Yeah, it's not close.
Let's see. Yeah, that's true. They have game. Oh, what are you guys talking about? Durakin says, cards are not actually all that lucrative by themselves. You have to run game nights where you encourage buying tons of packs and you don't make that much money. Jaime Ramirez says, yeah, that's true. They have game nights several nights a week and are open late into the night. They have lots of people participating in those. Yeah, a lot of the comic shops, like I'm guessing that Norco one as well, they're like kind of card shops first and foremost, and then they have comics there, but they always have game nights going on. And they sell snacks and stuff to encourage people not leaving.
A lot of Mountain Dew.
Lots of Mountain Dew and Doritos. Draken says, to get into selling Magic the Gathering, it takes way too much work, and you're lucky to make $10 on a box that you pay like $100 on. I don't know. I used to drop a lot of money on Magic the Gathering. Let's see. So nobody has any like favorite shops that are thriving right now?
Yeah, they might not want to dox themselves, but yeah, if you want to give them promotion, we should do that. We should try to back them as much as possible. It just makes me sad. The Mile High one made me sad because they had a killer shop out here in Anaheim. Remember, it was like a mega store.
I never actually got to go there.
Was it on Ball Road? It was up the street from Disneyland, right?
I think that was Fat Collectibles.
No, there was one there. There was Fat too.
Really?
But before Fat, there was a Mile High. Yeah.
Because I've been to Fat Collectibles. I've never been to Mile High. I remember Fat Collectibles. It was like a big, it was like a one-story, just like a flat warehouse kind of.
Yeah, I think that might have even been where Mile High was. I think they might have taken over for Mile High.
That would make a lot of sense because I always heard the original Fat Collectibles was in like Long Beach or something, right?
I don't know. The one I remember was in Huntington Beach.
That's the one I'm thinking
Boulevard.
of.
And that's my old stomping grounds because there was a comic shop in that shopping area. It was pretty close to where Fat. I don't think it's there anymore. Wow, that went out of business too.
Yeah,
the one on Beach Boulevard.
I'm trying to think of
But go ahead.
Oh no, I was just thinking. I'm trying to think of like any of those old school ones that are still around because a lot of them are gone now.
Yeah, because I think that shop went out too. But I think there still is a Fat. Because I think I did a free comic book there, and I think it's in Orange County still. But yeah, there's not a lot.
And that's one of the bigger ones too. Title says, I don't do comics really. I only bought Super Sons 1 through 3 because it's Hack Shack's last mainstream. Aw.
Thank you. I hope you checked out Black and White.
For sure. Thanks, Title.
Yes, thank you, Title.
Draken says, my brother has a card shop and he wanted me to run TTC stuff, so I did a bunch of research on stuff. It didn't work out for him largely because he didn't listen to me and gave me no authority to do anything. Well, maybe he should have.
Hindsight is always 20/20.
It's just weird that that St. Mark's is like a historic one in New York, and if that one wasn't doing well, I can't imagine how these shops are doing.
It's interesting though in the article they didn't say because of comic books or this, that, or the other thing. They made it sound like it was just the area that wasn't bringing a lot of people in to shop anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they didn't really give a direct to blame, I guess. Let's see. I bought 4 black and whites, his title.
Oh, well, thank you. Spread the word, brother.
Very cool. And remember, everybody, black and white is still available and in demand and will be until we go to print.
Yes, and by the way, that's what I'm working on right now.
Oh, yeah. What are you working on right now, Art?
I'm working on black and white. I don't know if you can see the blue lines. I don't know if so the blue lines are all gestured out. So now I'm going to tighten everything up with pencil and then start inking it.
I don't know. My stream just actually blinked. Okay, there we go. My stream blinked out for a second, but it looks like everything's okay. I think the next stream we do, we should adjust the lighting. It looks a tad dark.
I can bring the lighting over. The reason I didn't is because it glares on the board.
The broadcast itself, for some reason, because YouTube's weird, it looks different on my phone. See how it looks darker?
Oh, okay. Let me bring these lights over a little bit more.
Yeah, YouTube kind of gives us a false preview.
Is that a little? Well, it's a delay, right?
Yeah, I mean, it looks a little brighter now. Sorry, I normally wouldn't correct this on air. I just saw it.
No. It's fine. I want a good picture for people.
Yeah, it looks better. We're still getting the hang of setting all this stuff up with the new camera and everything.
Well, the camera, it depends on the time of day. The lighting, it reacts differently based on lighting, and it's a rainy day here in California, so it's a little darker in the room.
Yeah, and our preview on the actual YouTube version is very different from what I'm seeing right here, apparently. Let me catch up with what you guys are saying if this thing ever opens again. Yeah, for some reason I can't open this live chat. By the way, I see that 14 of you guys are here now, so welcome to some of the new people that might have just showed up.
Hit that bell.
Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'm back in the chat so I can read what you're saying. Mac Ufasat, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, I'm sorry, Mac. My local comic book store is doing well, but they also have a lot of space to put aside for indie comics, along with lots of events for book signings. That sounds pretty cool, actually.
Thank goodness. That's good. I'm glad.
And they should, because indie comics are the way of the future.
I'm also just glad that they're doing well.
P Money says, black and white stretch goals are the best. My wife loves patches, my younger daughter loves stickers, and my older daughter loves bookmarks.
Well, the stickers are done, and the patches are being, well, one of them, we still have to...
the next stretch goal patch.
Yeah, we still need to unlock the next stretch goal. Then we'll have that patch, but the first patch is being done.
Let's say it's in production.
It's in production.
P Money says, when I was younger, I did pull lists, but didn't know if I didn't keep up with the pull list at the store, it eats the cost. So I still bought from shops, but I don't have a pull list with fear of not keeping up with it. Did you ever have a pull list when you were a kid, Art?
No. There's a few things that the comics industry did that I knew instinctively was wrong. And pull lists, I always thought was wrong, because pull lists are good, and I understand why they need to exist, but the retailer isn't really ordering from their heart. They're not ordering books that they think, you know what I mean? Like, they're just ordering based on what
you're telling them.
What you're telling them. So there's no one taking a chance. Like, they're not going to take a chance on anything new. They're not going to use their gut and go, I read this one. This one looks interesting. I'll order that. They usually just stick with the pull list because they don't have a lot of money, for inventory. So they don't take a chance, and they don't really look too much into it. They just kind of order what the people want. And I understand that, just because they don't have a lot of money. But, excuse me.
That brings to mind a very sad story, by the way.
Yeah, okay. I'll wrap this up.
No. No, you just reminded me of a memory I have had hidden for years.
Yeah, but I just think that it became more about ordering, what the people want versus taking a chance on new things. Just ordering a bunch of books, put them on the shelf, and it just became about ordering what's the tried and true. And when you do that, then you don't get the chance of, how many times have you guys walked into a comic shop and just saw something kind of off the wall and fell in love with it? Well, sometimes that stuff won't happen. Like even a book like Black and White may not happen in today's market because the retailer doesn't have enough funds to
take the chance,
to take a chance on anything new. So they just order the tried and true. And that was one of the things I thought was an early sign that things weren't going to work out too well. And also when Marvel and DC did away with the newsstand.
Yeah, that was definitely, I think, the biggest beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, I was just thinking when you said that, the way I discovered that book Plastic was I went to Comic Madness and I didn't know what to buy, and I asked the guy, I was like, I want something weird. And he was like, okay, I know something that you'd like, because I've kind of seen him a bunch of times in there, and that's how he recommended Plastic to me, and I love that book.
Yeah, and also, Taylor, I have on my desk here things to do, and I'm going to contact Doug Wagner and see if he'll want to come on a Hacks Chats interview with us.
That would be awesome.
Doug's a good friend. He's an awesome guy, and that book is amazing.
Very talented. One of the best books to come out in years. And it's a really weird book that probably, I will say, they did not carry that book anywhere except for Comic Madness at the time that it was out. Like, I could not find it anywhere else. But what you were saying kind of brought up is kind of, I remember there used to be a big shop, and I don't remember the name of it. It was over by the beach, kind of by the OC Fairgrounds. If anybody knows what I'm talking about. And I used to go there as a kid. We'd drive out to the beach and I would go there. And I was pretty young. And I remember the one guy that always worked there recommended this book to me. And I still have it. And it's like this little witch girl book. I remember I really liked it. It was the first issue. And then by the time I would go back and get the second issue, the store was completely closed and cleaned out.
Oh, man.
And like we had driven all the way out there. And it was kind of, the writing was on the wall because like 9 times out of 10, I would go there and the store would be closed, but not, closed down. And it was completely gone at that point.
Okay, you guys, it's going to get kind of noisy because it's raining pretty hard. And we're on the second story, so there's rooftops all around this room.
Just think of it as an ASMR video with the gentle rain in the background.
Yes.
Durakin says, at least the games industry had you put down a payment for pre-orders rather than you just telling them your list of wants.
Yeah.
I mean, they couldn't really do it for comics, though, because I don't think there's a lot of margin for price there. It's easier to put down like a $5 piece for a game that's like $60.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the pool idea. Because also, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I don't know a lot of people that even have one now.
Yeah, the thing also that I don't like is that Diamond sells the catalog, so a lot of people would buy the Diamond catalog, and then they would go through the catalog themselves to get their pull list. So that they could see what books were coming out and what, books they might want to purchase. So I always thought that Diamond was double dipping. Well, they're like triple dipping on a lot of things, but that they charge the consumer for the order catalog so that they can order comic books. Doesn't that seem...
That seems like a conflict of interest.
It seems weird to me.
I feel like we could definitely do, maybe if we got a guest, we could do a whole episode just talking about Diamond's practices, because there's some shady stuff that they do.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely structured to the point where they benefit from almost every one of the equations, I guess.
Yeah.
Every one of the scenarios.
And they've kind of like monopolized that whole area because there's no one else that really provides that service.
Yeah, there used to be other distributors, but there aren't anymore.
So the other big news on our plate that we were going to talk about is that Ben Affleck, and keep chiming in on if you guys have any local shops and stuff you want to shout out or how they're doing. The the new news that just came out is that there's a new Batman movie slated for 2021, and that Ben Affleck is not going to be in it.
It's going to be a younger Batman, right?
It is. I have an article. I'll try to read it real quick, just like a little snippet. This is from Deadline. Warner Brothers is dating their next rendition of Batman for June 25th, 2021. This is the one that Matt Reeves has been attached to as writer and director.
Okay, do you know who Matt Reeves is?
He is the director of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes, and he's also the director of Cloverfield.
Okay.
So, and he also did the American adaptation of Let Me In, which is a good movie, but it's a good movie because the original was good, and it's pretty much a shot-for-shot remake, just with an English voice cast.
Okay.
And did you ever see the Planet of the Apes, the new Planet of the Apes series?
I saw the first two, and I had great hopes because I liked the original franchise that they were going to launch them off. Because there's that scene in the first one, remember, where there's like a newscast about this rocket that's going to go out to whatever and blah, blah, blah. And I thought somehow those apes were going to get on there because I like the time travel aspects and I like all that, like more sci-fi stuff. And it didn't seem like after watching the second one, I think that they were even going to go there. So they were going to keep it that, I guess it was more real time, I guess, right? Because they just showed the apes evolve over years. There was no time travel or anything like that.
Yeah, they kind of dropped that whole that sci-fi aspect, which is weird now that you mention it, because it's a very big part of the original.
Yeah, because it was like it was Rod Serling, right? Or Serling. That wrote Planet of the Apes or adapted it, and he's the Twilight Zone guy. And so Planet of the Apes is definitely a Twilight Zone kind of idea. Like, what if there was, instead of, humans that, ruled the world, it was apes, kind of thing. And I always liked that. It was like a parallel Earth or something like that idea. And then the new one didn't get into that, but I'm probably going off on a tangent. I liked them, but I was kind of disappointed that they didn't, the new ones, that they didn't have the time travel aspects to them. Yeah,
at all. It's kind of I didn't see the very last one. I saw the first and second one. And I guess he directed the second one and the one after that, but I haven't seen that one. I don't know. The second one wasn't bad, but it was extremely predictable for a movie about talking apes. And it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting if they had kind of gone more of like a sci-fi direction, because it's kind of, I don't know. The story itself now is kind of just apes fighting a war with humans, because I thought the whole question in the original was like, is it a whole other planet, like they imprisoned humans, like there was like this whole mystery thing that got revealed at the end, and now they're kind of telling the story in reverse where we all know.
I thought it was more, I thought the original idea was a little bit clearer, that it's like, oh well, we treated them in such a way, and now they're treating us in the same way. They're putting us in cages. They're hunting us. They're taking us out of our native habitats. Like that type of thing. And there was a setup there that I thought was, I don't know, it was more sympathetic.
It's kind of it's kind of more of a weird sci-fi concept. Now it just seems like a weird fantasy thing.
It's just about like, hey, what if we fought against apes? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it seems less, because in there, the ape society already exists, so they didn't have to build it up. Like, who cares about how they came to be? It's just that, how do we deal with it as humans? How does our sensibilities, I don't know. I just don't think that the new one, the questions were as interesting as the original was.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know where they're gonna go with this next one.
Wait a minute, there's gonna be another one too?
Yeah, supposedly there's gonna be 2 more. And there's already been 3.
So I say launch them chimps out to space.
They could, since they established that rocket was going into space, have that guy return, in the future.
Yeah, they'd have to totally.
But they didn't establish
that. Yeah, all that stuff, because no one but me even remembers that stuff was in the movie.
I didn't even notice it was a thing until you mentioned it. Like, it's pretty much an Easter egg in the first movie. Like, it's not made a story point at all.
Yeah, because when I first saw it, that's the part that got me excited. Because I was like, I don't think they're going to do it in this movie, but they'll probably do it in the second movie.
It's just a headline that like a rocket got lost or something, right?
Yeah, because what I thought they would do is just to move time forward, is that those guys would get launched off like at the end of the first movie or somewhere in the second movie, and then they would come back to Earth.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be the same Earth that they left. So they, because they set up all like these apes were going to be intelligent and all that stuff, in the movie, in the new ones. So then when they come back, you just get to see the evolution of what happened. And then those guys have to deal with like, well, what happened? Were we in some kind of time vortex? How did this all come to be? And then have to come like deal with the humility of that you're not the dominant
alpha
species anymore. Yeah.
And
then for him to fall in love with a hot monkey chick.
We try to forget about that.
No, I don't. I want to see that.
Draken says the original idea was that it was just a completely different planet, but it seemed so much like Earth it was a misdirection.
No. It was Earth. The Statue of Liberty was there. No, that's what they said at the end. It was Earth. And then the whole movie's, the reason that the orangutan guy was being like all, like, he wasn't being real forthright with the information.
He knew.
And the revelation, yeah, because he knew. He knew what humans could do. And so the reason they were cutting their tongues out and everything else is because that guy was trying to
keep the secret.
Keep them down, yeah. He didn't want to keep things going. He didn't want them to be the dominant species anymore.
It wasn't Earth. The movie changed it. The book was a different planet. I never read the book. I'm talking solely about the movies.
Yeah, I never read the books either. So the books, it wasn't Earth?
Wow, that's weird that they even did that twist. Title says, the most local shop to me only does diamond. And Title said, I attempted to tell the shop most local to me about black and white. They said they only do diamond. I was stunned. You're telling me a comic book artist veteran making their own comic and you don't even care.
Well, thanks for fighting a good fight, and I appreciate it. Taylor and I, we talk about it from time to time about possibly trying to get into that venue, into comic book shops and things with black and white. But, this is very special. This is kind of it is a unique situation, being able to hang out here, talk to you guys, sell directly to you, and interact in the way we are. And maybe I'm just kind of bored with the old way of doing things, but I really like this.
Yeah, we kind of found a good little niche here.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if going to the direct market like that is a good idea.
Especially with how difficult it is to go through diamond.
Yeah. Well, we could either do it as Hack Shack Publishing, or we could go through, Image or Dynamite or one of those companies that way. So then maybe Diamond would be more apt to play ball with us.
Yeah.
Because we would have a legit publishing company behind us. But yeah, these are all ideas.
Let us know what you guys think about that for sure. There was a whole series of books. I haven't read them, but I looked up info about them when I watched the original movies. I know there's like a deep lore behind Planet of the Apes, because there are comics too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know how the comics veered from the movies or the books or anything, but yeah, definitely like the Planet of the Apes being adapted into big screen was definitely Twilight Zone. It was kind of like taking that idea and going, well, what? That's probably where the what if came. Like, what if?
That's a very Twilight Zone ending.
Yeah, what if it was our world? What if the monkeys and apes and stuff did rise up and took over as a dominant species?
Because it is a very Twilight Zone. The tone of it's very Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
And even the art direction, actually.
It's a Twilight Zone question that they would ask,
Let me see. Oh, getting back to the Batman thing, yes. This movie will focus on a younger Bruce Wayne, and that's all the info that we have regarding the 2021 Batman movie.
I don't even think that Warner Brothers should be announcing these films anymore. I think what they should do is they should just make these movies the best they can. Don't put a damn deadline on it. Don't announce it to the fans. And just prove that they're going to make a good movie. You know what I mean? Don't hype it. Don't just make the damn movie the best you can. Because I don't know what this is, just dividing fans. No one's getting it. Like, I'm not excited about it. Are you excited about it?
Not at all. I feel very, very bland about it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, another, Batman revamp.
There's like a lot of talk about who could play Batman, and now they said he's younger. I think it kind of narrows the field a little bit. Do you have anyone in mind that could play Batman at this point?
Tom Holland.
Or Tom Holland can't play everyone.
I don't know of a young, kind of bad ass kind of actor right now. Like young.
I don't know how young they want him to be. If anybody in the chat has an idea, like all the actors that people have been suggesting online are like, they're way too old, because there's kind of a narrow window, especially when you're saying you're casting him younger. Like, these seem very dated. A lot of people said that John Hamm could play a good Batman, and I kind of think he could, but I think he's a little too old now.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I think he's like 50 something. Like, it seems like he's not that much younger.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if they're going to do this idea, they need to get a 20-something, like 25, ideally younger, because the only way this is going to be interesting is from a new point of view. We've seen Batman revamp time and time again with origin stories and different actors, and they've all been older actors. And I said from the very, very beginning, why did they hire Ben Affleck? Why did they hire an older guy to begin with?
Yeah. Puts them in a weird position.
Well, it's limited. It's not only, he's an older guy, but also, when you get an older person, their options are limited. You know what I mean? Like, they've already done all these things. You've already seen these adventures they've already lived. So
the stories you can tell, are very
limited because they've already done all these things. So why would you even do that? Why would you go, okay, you would do it after a franchise started slowing down, or like the way the comic books did it. They didn't do it either or. They had them both exist at the same time. Like Dark Knight Returns was an Elseworld story. But the Batman detective comics were still coming out. So thematically, in a theater, I think the old Batman would only work if you already had a successful Batman franchise going with a younger guy, because then you do a Planet of the Apes idea, or, like a what if, what if Batman was an older guy in the future, kind of thing.
But you work within those constraints.
Well, you've already established him as this other guy, so then it becomes an interesting idea because you know him as this younger guy, and then you have this other movie that comes out as a what if. At the same time that other movie exists, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's just say for the sake of argument, you have Tom Holland playing Bruce Wayne, and then you have a couple movies with him. The franchise is going strong. It's interesting. And then you go, okay, well, let's do Batman or Dark Knight Returns with Ben Affleck. Then all of a sudden it seems like a better idea.
And you're like, how did this kid end up being like this?
Exactly. Yeah, because he's such a wide-eyed. Well, Batman's never that guy, but
there's hope for him.
Yeah, there's still hope for him. He's not totally jaded and stuff like that. And then you see him, this really beat down, older guy, and then you're just like, wow, okay.
Draken says, what if DC was just playing with us and the 2021 movie ends up being Batman and Beyond with Keaton as Bruce Wayne?
I heard that. That actually is like the best idea I've heard so far, because that Batman Beyond idea and cartoon was one of my favorites.
Title says Holland would make a great Terry McGinnis.
Yeah, I was just throwing him out there, guys. I wasn't taking it seriously.
James says it's really hard to find a young actor with enough screen presence to play Batman. Draken kind of broke it down. I kind of agree with this. Batman Year One needs to be around 25. If they want him to have a Robin, he needs to be 28 through 33. And I thought this was nice. P Money says, I've never gotten to interact with comic creators as much as I did these last couple of years. Before this channel, art was just the name of my comic. Now I'm actually learning who Art Bear is.
Cool.
Aw. Yeah, the New 52 Batman seemed really odd given his young age. When did he find the time for all those past events? You know who's in the running right now, Art?
For Batman?
Armie Hammer.
Too old. Already too old.
He's already too old, and he's kind of I don't know. He's made some questionable choices movie making wise.
And to be honest, I like him. I don't know if I like him as Batman.
Yeah, I don't know.
He seems a little too straight up and down. He seems too square. He seems boring to me.
He's a little bland.
Yeah, because what I ideally, when they went Michael Keaton, all right, you guys, go with me on this. It was kind of against like, oh, really? Michael Keaton, how? But he had this like quirky, odd side of him. So it would be interesting if you could get somebody that seemed like they were all together, like very, very together in most cases. But then there was this one side of his personality, or every once in a while you'd see it, where he's just kind of quirky. I don't want to say lunatic, but he's just off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in a performance way, not in like a scripted way, not in a story way. Like you don't give him a scene where he just like breaks down, starts crying, or does something absolutely crazy. But you just see like there's just a side of him that's a little odd and a little weird. You know what I mean? That goes beyond what you've seen. Kind of like if you get an actor like Robert Downey Jr., you know how that guy can kind of emote stuff that's not in the script. Like he can act in a way that that is subtler, I guess. It doesn't give too much away. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think he's very good. He's very expressive without saying anything.
Yeah, that he can like that Tony he's troubled. He's a little crazy. He's got those troubled eyes. But you don't get to see it all the time, like the way Robert Downey Jr. plays him. You just kind of see little moments that you get the idea that he's probably a little insane. Well, I want to see how you feel about this one, because apparently also in the running, and I apologize because I cannot pronounce this person's name. His name is Dacre Montgomery, and he is the young actor that played the older brother in Stranger Things with the bad wig. And he played the lead in Power Rangers. He's apparently up for playing Batman. Why? Is this fact?
Apparently, these are the ones that are are going around.
You know, I can't wait for Warner Brothers to put out their first little teaser, like Suicide Squad for the new Batman. I can just see with that actor, I can just see them doing it the same way. The parachutes on the wall. Yeah. The one light, the dramatic light, and having him prance around with a suit on like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen that, it's the video two videos back.
Yeah, watch 2 videos back where we pick apart the beautiful Suicide Squad teaser trailer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, with that cast, that guy, I could just see it going that way.
Ben Barnes is also up for the role, who was he was the cutthroat brother-in-law from the first season of Westworld with the dark hair.
I'd rather see that guy.
I can actually that kind of interests me, to be honest.
You know who they need? You know who they need? They need that guy who plays Bucky Barnes.
Ooh.
They need either that guy or they need somebody exactly like that. That guy can look troubled. That's that look. Like, you know that guy's got, you know what I mean? They don't give him scenes, but you can just see it every once in a while that guy's got some crap going on. You know, like internally. He's got a heavy heart.
Yeah, I guess that's what, he looks troubled.
Yeah, like if you could either troubled or quirky, or both.
There's some light behind the eyes that isn't quite right there.
I think that guy would be the perfect Bruce Wayne, the perfect Batman.
He really would. I could definitely see that.
Do you realize that?
And a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that's the same guy from the first, it's the same actor that played Bucky in the War stuff.
That's right. And I always forget that it's the same guy because he looks so different now.
Yeah, he's they seem like totally different characters.
He's very good.
Same actor. That guy is so good.
Another person in the running is Jamie Dornan, who was from 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's a terrible actor, so I hope it's not true.
All these decisions are making me feel really, really good.
And then
no, they're not.
In the chat, Durekin has 5 guys that might work. Liam Hemsworth. Maybe.
Wait, is that the guy from Westworld 2, or is it? There's another Hemsworth. He's the younger one.
He's the youngest Hemsworth.
Okay.
Liam's the one that looks a lot like Chris. He's a little skinnier.
Okay.
He's an okay actor. He was famously engaged to and escaped from Miley Cyrus.
We won't hold it against him.
And she went insane after he left.
She jumped on the wrecking ball.
She did, because of him. Taylor Lautner, ew.
Oh.
He would look terrible in that cowl.
Wait a minute, are we supposed to take that serious? That's that guy from Twilight, right?
Yes.
And what's it called?
He's so stubby.
Twilight? Yeah.
And that's
Twilight.
about it.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else he's been in.
I guess he had that little role in Harry Potter where he dies, right? That's
no, that wasn't him. That was
he's the werewolf guy.
He's the werewolf guy. He was Shark Boy.
He's Shark Boy.
Richard Madden. And Richard Madden, I do not recognize him. He's I know who he is. He's in Game of Thrones.
Oh, is he the
he's
the lead guy with the dark hair?
He has dark hair, but he's the older brother that passed away. He's pretty good.
Not that Snow guy.
No. He played oh god, I can't remember the character's name. But he was like a child actor. I could maybe see that. He was in this movie called first of all, they thought he might play James Bond for a while, but he played in this recent movie that came out called, it's like The Bodyguard, basically, but I heard he was really good in it. I don't know. Let me see. Penn Bagley or Dave Franco. I think Dave Franco's career is over, though.
Is he one of the Francos?
He is. He's the younger brother, I believe. And didn't he have some kind of scandal? Did I miss you guys making fun of Ben Affleck as Daredevil? Says Simon.
No, but we could if you'd like.
You're just in time.
The joke was when Taylor told me he's out of Batman, I said, yeah, he left Batman so he could do Daredevil too.
It's not too late. Now that they got rid of the Netflix series, he could.
I don't think you could top that guy from the Netflix series, to be honest. That guy was pretty good.
Captain Black Cheesemo says, Art, Ben Barnes was also Prince Caspian and Jigsaw from the Netflix Punisher. So he's already doing some...
Okay.
I didn't know he was in the Punisher, though. I haven't watched that yet.
I would go with an unknown. I think Marvel has cast a lot of people that have done work but were semi-unknown. If I was going to do Batman, I would definitely go with an unknown. I wouldn't go with anybody that has too much of a known presence.
I agree. I think you'd be better off finding someone that's unrecognizable and just groom him.
Yeah. Too much baggage.
Especially at this point. Draken says, modern guys have no tea, so it's hard to find people that would work. Yeah, there's not really anyone I can think of. Peter Palmiotti says, just heard St. Mark's Comics is closing. So sad.
Yeah, it's horrible. That's a great shop.
It sucks. When you look at it, it's a very classic looking comic shop.
So Taylor, you have a hard 4? Is that right? Or can you stay longer?
No, I gotta go at 4. Should I mention what I'm going to?
Yeah, go tell them what you're going to.
So I have to leave at 4 because I'm trying to find the name of the show right now. I'm going in for an audition for a game show called, whenever this email opens, oh god, it's called like America Guesses or something. America something. So I'm going in.
America's Got Comics.
I wish. That sounds much more up my alley. It is America Says. So I'm going in for an audition of America Says. Hopefully I get in there so we can plug Black and White. And I'll keep you guys up to date.
If you don't know, Taylor's a veteran of game shows. She was on, her and her family were on Family Feud.
Yes, we were on Family Feud. We were actually on there twice.
Come on down.
So we were on there twice. I guess they kept our names, and my mom tries to apply for game shows once in a while. So they wanted us to try out for this America Says. So I'm going to go apply on there, and hopefully we can get a plug for Black and White.
That'd be cool.
That's the only thing. I don't know. I think it's a trivia show, and I'm really bad at those. So.
Well, it depends on the trivia.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be.
If it's pop culture, comic book, you should do well.
Or Kiss. I think you made the joke. Like, what if it's all Kiss trivia?
Well, that'd be awesome. If like that's the pivotal question would be like lead singer for Kiss, and you're like, don't waste my time.
Simon says, "Are you going on Wipeout?" No, I don't have that much. I have a little more pride than going on Wipeout.
What is Wipeout?
Remember that show, Art, where it's like an obstacle course?
Oh, okay.
Where everybody wrecks horribly.
Is that the one that's based on the Japanese show? Is that the one?
I believe so.
They jack you up pretty bad. And do they make you dress like stupid characters and stuff?
They make you wear like a jumpsuit, like a tight-fitting, solid-colored jumpsuit, I think.
Wasn't there one like in Japan or something where they just they make you dress up in like some kind of I don't know, like furry outfit or something?
I think
and then they would humiliate you.
There might have been, because I always see a GIF going around online of some guy in like a mascot costume running from fire, and it looks like it's from a game show.
Yeah, they look like, they're like mascot outfits.
Let's see. Affleck was pretty spot on version of Bruce Wayne. He just wasn't given a good movie to work with. It was only partially his fault. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we talked about that earlier a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's... it wasn't so much him, but it was kind of a doomed idea. You know, an older Batman, not a great idea to start a franchise. Oh, let's start the DC Universe with a character that has no potential for growth. Great, brilliant idea. So that I don't blame Affleck. He did the best that he could with what he had. So how did you feel about Ben Affleck, Taylor?
I think when the news first broke, we might have even done a video about it, because I think we had the channel then. The promise of an older Batman at the time seemed interesting, but I feel like they didn't really incorporate it into the story at all. Like, they didn't play upon him having a lot of experience. They teased certain things, but since there was no delivery, it kind of went nowhere. It's really hard to judge whether he was bad versus the material was bad.
Or just the idea was doomed from the get-go.
Yeah, because like you said, there's only so far you can go once you have the character kind of established. There's not a lot of room for growth.
Well, how interesting is it, like the throwaway line where they say, you know, I miss the days of wind-up penguins. It's like, are we all supposed to go, yeah, that was cool? Like, we never saw it.
That sounds neat.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up a bunch of references to things that you've never seen before.
I want to see what you think of this before we close out, because I kind of agree with this. The Last Orion says, I agree with the Professor Geek's take on this. He talks about how Batman has been turned into too much of a brawler, and they have removed too much of the detective aspect from his personality.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I like, he should be all those things, though. He shouldn't just be one. Like, you could get him into a good fist fight. You can get him to do some cool detective work. You can even do, like, the Gizmo idea, you know, where he's kind of like the James Bond. He's got all the cool gear and stuff. Like, I never saw it as an either or. Like, it has to be this or it has to be that. I like all those things. I like all those aspects of Batman. And the one thing I was really looking forward to with Zack Snyder's Batman is that he was going to be more like Gizmo oriented.
Especially when you hear that he's older, you would assume that he'd be more Gizmo oriented.
Yeah, he's got all the cool gadgets and stuff.
But really, the most gadget oriented Batman we've like seen in a non-tacky way was kind of the Nolan Batman. He had a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah, and they showed him kind of working on them and how they worked, and they were very tactile. They were very practical. You could see how they actually would work and did work.
I think the longer things have gone on, the more I've realized that I liked the Nolan Batman, aside from the last movie. Like, the Dark Knight Batman is pretty good.
Yeah, the whole thing is that it was always going to be, I guess, slightly limited just because of the more comic book aspects of it weren't in the movie, like in the character. You know what I mean? So everything had to be a little too grounded, and I think it would have got boring after a while because I didn't think Bane was all that interesting. I thought some of the takes weren't all that interesting. You know, them trying to make them a little too normal.
We could do a whole video about just that movie. We should do a versus of that last Batman movie versus Batman versus Superman or Man of Steel.
Ooh, now you're talking.
Which one is worse? All right, so we should probably wrap it up soon. We got Kiss Corner tomorrow. Wait, is that tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow's Friday.
That's right. We got Kiss Corner tomorrow at 3. And that's our top 5 Kiss merchandise.
Yeah, and that's California time.
Yeah, 3 p.m. PST. So come join us for that.
So we have that, and we had to kind of make this one short. We got a late start today, and Taylor's got her game show she has to audition for. So I hope you guys liked hanging out with us and watching me doodle for a while. Is that clear or is that a little out of focus?
I was wondering, it looks a little out of focus, but it looks clear on my feed. It just looks a little darker. We're going to have to adjust this camera, you guys. We're getting used to it, but
I think part of it's just the lighting.
Yeah, we have a kind of a delicate balance going on here, but we're going to figure it out. Simon says, best of luck, Taylor. Thank you. Should we close out?
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock here, so.
Okay, so don't forget that Black and White is still available in demand on Indiegogo. We're going to be in demand until we get to printing. What else do we have? Oh, the Bagley pages. Don't forget. Oh, and this. If you guys haven't seen Oodles of Doodles and other stuff too, this will be our next Indiegogo project right here.
Yeah, so it's an art book, 35 years in the making. So this spans a lot of my career. There's newer stuff. There's covers. There's layouts, thumbnails, commissions, pinups. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Where's some of the commission stuff's here.
It's Art's first ever art book.
Create-our-own stuff. Yeah, so it's a pretty nice little package, and we're going to be reissuing that soon. And what did you say, Taylor?
Oh, I was just saying it's Art's first art book, and we're going to be putting that up to help supplement while we continue working on Black and White, because the book is already finished. The art book, that is.
Yes.
And what is this, Art?
This is Trinity. I'm glad you asked, Taylor. Yeah, these are Trinity pages, so I thought I would tease them again for you guys. If you're interested, sign up for the newsletter, and you'll be eligible to purchase these. And you can contact me through the Art by Thibert site.
Third link in the description. If you want to join that newsletter, you can get exclusive offers like this. These were only available through the newsletter, so never before. Check them out. Hit us up if interested. I think a couple people have been inquiring about them, so I don't know if they're all available.
Well, I just now got the prices to them, so some of these could be sold already. I haven't checked my messages yet.
So don't wait on those Bagley Thibert Trinity pages.
Yeah, so I just found these the other day, you guys. These were in the Thibert archives, the vault, as it were. So yeah, if you're interested, go to the Art by Thibert site and sign up for the newsletter, and the newsletter will let you know what the next move is. Look at her just popping that guy.
That's a good one.
Pop right in the chops.
Now that's a page you start your collection with, I say.
I say. And look who she's fighting for.
Aww.
The man, the myth.
Of steel.
The man of steel. All right, you guys, have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. And stay tuned for Kiss Corner tomorrow at 3 o'clock Cal time. So
don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications.
Yes. Very good. And thanks for the super chats, guys.